everyone, this is Shadow the Rat, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how I clean out my single critter nation. Keep in mind that this cage houses my 4 female rats, Latte, Blackberry, Cookie, and Cream, and I'm just going to be doing my regular full cleaning, so you're going to see how it happens. So the first thing that I want to do is take out the rats. You'll see here that I put them inside of their travel cage. This is just a 10-gallon hamster cage that I use as a travel cage or whenever I need to keep them separate so I can do something like clean the cage. And as you see here, they're just resting inside their space pod and just chilling in the cage, so then we can move on to actually disassembling everything else. So the first thing I'm going to do with the critter nation is to take out all of the items I have inside it. As you can see, that's quite a bit, so I just need to take everything out so that I can move on to taking out the bedding. Okay, so now that I've finished taking out all the items, I'm going to be taking out the bedding. I just used one of these plastic Dollar Tree bins, and I'm able to scrape all the bedding into it and then deposit it into my trash bag. So you can see that's what I'm doing here. So the next step is to take out all of the dust and all of the pee residue. So I'm going to be using some water and some paper towels to remove everything. You can see I'm just cleaning everything here. And the next thing I want to do is spray down the whole cage with this product called Nature's Miracle for small pets. Basically, this is just a deodorizer and a cleaner, and it gets rid of all the pee in the cage along with any of the remaining residue or odor. So I just really like it, and then I'm going to wipe down everything with my paper towels again. And you want to notice that I am also wiping down the bars. I also sprayed these with Nature's Miracle, and you really want to wipe down your bars every single time you clean your cage, if not more often, because if you don't, pee will build up there and it's going to smell really bad. So now what I want to do is add in my fresh bedding. You can see I used yesterday's news, and I'm just going to pour it right into the container. You'll notice that I'm trying to measure how much is in there, and I just want around 2 inches to be spread evenly across the cement pan. And now I'm going to move on to taking care of my Critter Nation shelf. So what I do is I'm going to take all the bedding and put it into this green bin, same as before, and then take the green bin and dump it into my trash bag. And then I'm going to do the same thing as I did with my cement mixing pan. I'm going to take out the shelf, wet it down with some water, clean it up with some paper towels, and then move on to using Nature's Miracle on it to get rid of any remaining residue. Finally, I'm going to be adding yesterday's news to it, and this is actually one of the reasons I like yesterday's news so much, and it's because it's a pelleted bedding, meaning that it's pretty heavy so the rats can't just kick it out, which is why I can use it on the shelf even though it has very thin borders. So now I'm going to add the shelf back into the Critter Nation itself. You can see first I need to put in the metal frame, which is actually one of the reasons the Critter Nation has such a nice shelf. It's because, it's supported by this metal frame. Anyway, I add that back in, and then I put back in the plastic part of the shelf, and then I'm going to be able to start decorating the cage. So the next thing I want to add in is my wire shelves. One of them is actually still attached to the cage, so all I need to do with that one is to add some felt. With the other one, however, I didn't have it in the cage the previous time, so I got that out and I zip tied it to the side that I wanted it on. Now I'm going to be adding my pre-cut felt rectangles to both of these. I just used some binder clips to keep them in place, and these make perfect little shelves for the rats to nap or chill on. The next thing I want to do is decorate the bottom of the cage. You can see that I'm adding a lot of boxes. That's just because I have a ton of these boxes and it's really nice to be able to use them for the rats. I also have some paper eco bedding in one of the boxes. This stuff makes great nesting material. I find it's not the best at controlling odor, but the rats really like to sleep in it, so I like keeping some in the cage for them to burrow and nest in. Now I'm going to start decorating the top of the cage, and the first thing I'm going to add is my space pod. You can see it just hooks on right to the top. This is one of their favorite toys, so I like having it in the cage at all times. The next thing I'm going to do is add in a hammock. I'm making this hammock out of a pre-cut rectangle with some safety clips in each corner. You can see that right now I'm just adding 4 safety pins to each side, and then I'm going to be hanging it up in the corner of the cage. Now I'm adding my second hammock, which is actually my green climbing net. I really love this toy. It's kind of hard to wash, but other than that, it's just perfect. You can use it to let the rats climb places, or you can also use it like a hammock like I'm doing here. Finally, I'm going to be adding some tissues for the rats to use as nesting material. Now I complete the top of my cage by adding a tube in one corner next to the hammocks, as well as my DIY hanging bridge, which I made out of popsicle sticks, pipe cleaners, and some hot glue. So now it's time for me to wash all the items my rats have used. The first thing I'm going to do is wash out the water bottles and add some fresh water. Then I'm going to also clean out the food dishes. Finally, I'm going to take care of the rest of the stuff that was in the cage. This includes the plastic stuff which needs to be washed, as well as the fabric stuff. If you're wondering why I'm not showing the wooden stuff that was in the cage, it's because the way I clean these is just to wipe these down and I get rid of them when they get too gross. I know some people actually do this whole process of cleaning them, but I've never found it to be really worth it, so I don't really do that. I just wipe them down with some Nature's Miracle. Okay, so now I just need to add back in the water bottles, place the food dishes back inside the cage, and finally clean up and vacuum the area. And yeah, that's basically it. That's really all I do for my cage cleanings. I'd say it probably takes around an hour to get all this done. It took longer this time because I was recording it and I had to figure out where to place everything in order to catch it on camera. But other than that, I think this video was a pretty good representation of what I usually do around cage cleaning time. I hope this video was helpful if you were looking into ways to clean your cage. If you weren't and you were just, wanting to watch a video of someone cleaning a cage, well then I hope you enjoyed it all the more. And yeah, that's basically all I have for you. I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!